If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will make you listen to the nice guys on business. Running a business is hard. Being a business leader is even harder. The nice guys bring in top industry pros to help your business prosper in a tough world. Get real advice from real people to get you real results today. Now it's time for the nice guys on business. Here's your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Hey, so it's nice to have friends in high places, and today is no exception. Julie Reisler, she is the author of Get a PhD in You, and has been featured in Forbes and several other national publications. She's also a master coach, a best-selling author, a multi-time TEDx speaker, we're going to talk about that, and founder of the Life Designer Coach Academy certification program, a mouthful right there. And even better, she talks to her soul seeker community weekly as the host of the popular podcast, the You-est You. And we're going to chat about that because we're going to play this on both the Nice Guys on Business and Turnkey podcast. Julie, freaking A, welcome to the podcast.
Freaking A, man. I'm so happy to be here. It's awesome to spend time with you. Anytime I'm spending time with you, Doug Sandler, is a good day.
Well, we have good, this is good. We really have not connected in years, ever since a nasty divorce I went through and all that fun stuff. And I know you've been through 1 or 2 or 7 of those on your own. You've just been through one, right?
Just one. I'm remarried to an awesome person, but yes, did go through one.
I got it. I got it. So what was any of that stuff? Because I can tell you a lot of the healing that I went through only came, what's the expression? Out of contrast comes clarity. It's like I wouldn't have done all of the healing and wound discovery that I've done without the shit. And it has been some shit that has gone on in my life. And I know you've had your share of it, but you remain as positive as I do on the other side of it. Did that help you find all the stuff that you're doing right now?
Yes. And I would say that it was like part of the excavation process. I seem to be an experiential learner. So yeah, it was, look, I think I created a relationship that kind of mirrored similar to what I saw growing up. I think we do that if we're getting married really young and not as conscious. And so good person. He's a great dad. I just realized the way that I was shifting, changing, moving in the world, it like didn't fit anymore. And that was really hard. It's not easy to uncouple, especially consciously. And, not easy, like really some of my most challenging moments of my life. And of course, to end something like that, at the time, my kids were really young. Like I had 2 kids under the age of 4, 3 and 4.
I remember going, because your kids are, how old are they now?
14 and 15.
Yeah. And I think that was probably close to the beginning part of a relationship, or at least a friendship that we had, if not just soon after that it all had gone down.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I always will be connected to him and I'm grateful for that. And I think just learning about myself, what works, what doesn't, what I need, what I don't, like, woo, it's just talk about if you want like to fast track.
Yeah.
Getting to know yourself and relationships, man, that is one way to do it.
And I know we're going to talk about all this stuff. Like we'll talk about your coaching program. We'll talk about TEDx. We'll talk about your podcast. But I want to start with some of the important questions. Like, have you experienced heartache?
Ooh, I was like, what's he going to ask me?
Heartache heartache and heartbreak. Have you experienced either one of those things?
Heartbreak and heartache. Yes, definitely. Yes. And actually I have a very like Zen answer to this, but I'm going to give you the first. Yeah.
Don't give me that. I don't want the podcaster or the You-est You answer. I want the answer. I want the Julie Reisler answer, that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I mean, look, I remember this was a relationship in college. Like I'm going back and I remember like it was somebody I was really into and clearly it worked until it didn't. And I remember it was really hard. Actually a guy from high school, I felt that way. And then this guy in college. And then I met the husband that I married for 15 years. So probably should have paused. Yeah. And I just remember like, it was rough. I mean, I certainly used like food and alcohol for a good year. I just remember, a lot of us do that in college, but it was definitely a way to kind of handle that. And, even when I got separated this time and was dating who I'm now married to, and we went through a period of like just getting our shit figured out, that was really hard because I really, in my heart of hearts, knew this person is, I think we all have probably many people we could connect with, but he was my person, at least in this lifetime. And that was really hard when I was not able to be with him. Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody that, I know that there's couples counseling, there's a whole bunch of stuff that people can go through in order to either heal the wounds that are within them or heal the relationship or something. I really feel like you got to do the work on your own before you even get to the point where you can do the work with your partner.
I would say 100%, whatever you're seeing out there is what's inside. So for me, I'd done a shit ton of inner work. And that's when I started to realize that first marriage, I'm like, oh gosh, we are not syncing. If you're seeing any issues, you look inside yourself. I really believe in that. You do that inner work, you hire a therapist, a coach, all of them, all of it, and read books that are whatever it is, but make that investment in yourself, because whatever you're seeing, even if it's a mirror of a negative belief or self-loathing or thing about yourself, you want to shift that because you don't want to attract that again, or that version, that new flavor of that person. And I think that made all the difference, doing that work. And then, being able to come together with somebody who it was like a whole different thing. Like, this, you did the work.
Yeah. I'm looking at the picture behind you, the one that says she created a life she loved. And I think that you really, truly embody that. I think that you have found exactly what you want to do. And through healing, you have healed others as well. Can you share a little bit about that and how that, when did a lot of people, I like eating, but doesn't mean I want to be a chef. It's like you kind of like the counseling and the coaching and all of the self work, all of that stuff. And you actually turned that into a career. So when did you realize that was like your thing?
Well, if you asked my oldest best friend, Meg, I'm from Boston, Mass. We grew up together, and she'd be like, Julie had a poster that said, the first one was strawberry shortcake. I'm so embarrassed, but it said, everybody's special in their own special way. And then I moved into, I am okay and you're okay. Literally Stuart Smalley on my wall. I was into Louise Hay at like 9. So, I think it traces back, but I was a psych major. I didn't want to be a therapist. I love therapists, but it wasn't the track. And I'm kind of obsessed with this. Once you've done work on yourself and you've sort of shifted a belief and you realize, holy crap, I was really like shackled to these beliefs. And it's like, I literally felt like I put on glasses there I could see like in color again. And I don't know, I'm pretty empathetic. I would never want anyone to go through life and not know it's possible. So I'm just obsessed with this. I feel like everyone has the right to have a life they love and to feel free and to feel happy and connected and abundant. Like, I just believe that at my core. So it's kind of I can't not do this work.
So what's your favorite way? I know it's going to be like asking you pick your favorite child, but what's your favorite way of maybe expressing your message? You have TEDx and you get popular that way in a fairly microwave oven experience. Your TEDx talk, I'm sure, is extremely popular. You have a book that people can kind of slow cook and read and mature through the book. You have a podcast where people can get relevant current content also. Where do you like to be your messenger?
Well, if you know anything about my story, I used to eat everything on the buffet table. So as you're talking, I'm like, all of it, all of what you said. Obviously, you probably can get a sense, I'm verbal, very verbal. I love processing and sharing verbally. So anything where I can just speak or share or connect, typically podcasts, speaking. So anything in that realm. I love books, but I'll tell you the truth, that was not as easy for me to write a book. I had to think out loud and write down out loud. Other people just record it. So any way that I can just connect with people kind of in that speaking, arena. I love it.
So talk to those that are in our audience that are either potential podcasters or already podcasting and trying to figure out, how do I exactly connect my business to my podcast? So connect your business of either coaching, training, your online your certification, connect that to your podcast.
Yeah. Well, first of all, if you have that inkling to do it, I'm a big honor that inkling, that inner nudge. For me, it was connecting this whole idea of being your You-est You is about, authenticity. It's about being in integrity with what's going on inside, what you feel, what you want to desire. You get one shot. I would never want anyone to get to the end of their life and be like, shit, I missed it. That's like my fear, at least.
Yeah.
So that really syncs up well with interviewing people that are doing that in a really high level way. It syncs up with coaching, because coaching helps you to access and become your You-est You. And for me, I love to talk and I love to interview people. So it was like, all right, we're doing it. In fact, you were one of the first people. I remember I was like, well, Doug's doing it really well. He might be a little more verbal, a little better at it, but I don't know. And I remember you and Strick were like, you can do this, Julie. And you guys helped me. You're awesome.
You totally can. And you totally are doing it. What's so great about it is as I was kind of reviewing all of your information that you had sent over through our little online scheduling Q&A, not that I needed any of it to have a conversation with you. I'm like, hey, I want to check out her podcast and see, what she's been up to. 175 plus reviews, 5-star reviews of your show, 3 seasons, and how many hundreds of episodes have you put out there? How many have you? Do you know how many
I'm
you
at
have?
300
Holy shit.
I'm at like 297 right now.
Would you say, if you look back again, talk to my podcasters out there for a second, then we'll talk about some of your certification programs and how you've run your business. Would you say that your podcast has been, to a degree, whatever level of success that you have wanted it to be?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, I'm going to say you had said this to me early on. And I remember I'd started, you're like, just commit to some sort of goal that you can stick with. So if you're going to just give it a year, or you're going to do it once a week. And I thought, all right, I can do this once a week for a year. And then honestly, it's like, I caught the bug. I'll be honest, like, this is going to sound really like not like an entrepreneur with a big vision or goals, but I kind of started it thinking, I just love interviewing people and getting their stories and sharing it. So let me try a year. Let me find people that I'm in love with, that I'm connected to. You've been on, I know, at least a couple of times. I've had some amazing, amazing, amazing guests. Let me just do it and see. And so here we are in the 4th year. It's grown extensively. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't even think I had an expectation other than I just love doing this. I would say start out with maybe a little more of a goal than I had.
Well, I always tell everybody as they get started, don't focus on the downloads, because the downloads are not worth dollars to you. It's the conversion of your audience into, even a small audience can convert if you have a good connection with them, or work on your guest seat. We have this program called Guest to Gold, work on joint venture partners, turning your guests into clients, referral sources, affiliates, any of that stuff. And all of a sudden, now you have this gold mine of opportunity. And I know, knowing you've probably put people in that guest seat, or you've had people in your community that you've nurtured a relationship over the last 4 years until they say, hey, I either want to be a part of anything that you have, I want to be a part of, because hasn't it built your know, like, and trust factor with what are your communities called? Your soul, what are they? Soul seekers soul seeker community?
The You-est You community for soul seekers, or my soul friends. I really, truly feel like everyone that tunes in, we tend to be in that high, empathy, big-hearted, soul-seeking. I think of it as like my soul family. I really, really, truly do. And it absolutely has grown. Oh my gosh, that community, that know, like, and trust, people that have come to me to coach them, to work with them, to train them, to mentor them. I'm laughing because one of my favorite guests, my new friend, who now is, we've done some partnership. She gifted me, after interviewing her, I love Satya Skinetti. She's gorgeous jewelry. And I'm like, oh my God, I get to like wear your jewelry and be a partner. And like, that's really fun for some girl like me. Like, that's really fun.
Ah, nice. So, okay. So to whatever degree success has you define success has found you in your podcast. Any advice to somebody that's just, aside from just, the advice that I give, that it sounds like you give, is just, hey, you just got to do it. Just got to, sometimes it's not good enough for people. They want like well, what can I actually accomplish from this? Whether it's business or relationships or whatever it is, there are some good things. What advice would you give to somebody that's, getting started?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, action has magic in it. So get your first 6, 8, just do it, really, quote Nike, just do it. And think, strategically too, like, and go from what's fun, what do you enjoy? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's going to come across. I used to, when I did camera training, this, it's like camera sees thoughts. Well, people hear your energy. So do what you love, interview people that you resonate with. And I will say one of my biggest mistakes that I did not catch until about, oh my God, a year ago. So is I realized that I forgot to kind of introduce myself. I was like, I'm the host, but I didn't say,
Yeah.
hey, and I saw myself such as the conduit of these conversations. So make sure you're using, you're letting people know what you do and how they can work with you. That was a hello light bulb moment.
Yeah, commercial on your own show for you is usually a good place that you can start when you don't have any sponsors or people that believe in you as much as you believe in you. So that's good. I'm really happy for your success in podcasting. I'm glad you've stayed in it for 300 plus episodes. I'm super happy that you have as many as reviews you have as many reviews as you have. So, congrats for all of that stuff. So let's talk about just give me, I'm going to put the doctor's cap on you for a second. You're now Dr. Julie.
Awesome.
And we have people in our community that are probably illing, they ail from something.
Yeah.
What would be a reason why somebody would even think about, okay, what is this You-est You thing? And how do I even get closer to that? Tell me some sicknesses that people would have or some symptoms somebody would have before they start thinking about talking to you.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest, let me say this carefully. One of the pandemics that I think one of the issues that many of us face is that having that really shitty relationship with yourself, like crappy beliefs, saying things to yourself you would never say to anyone else. Here's the thing, mind, body, I don't even need to go into it. It is connected. And I actually experienced this having actual thyroid condition I know is connected to not speaking my voice. So, self-loathing, self-doubt, missing that confidence, feeling like an imposter. And I see this especially with the ambitious, heartfelt, heart-led entrepreneurs, change makers, because if you don't do that inner work, as you expand, what happens is you feel even more and more like a fraud. You feel like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I feel stuck. And many of us, we have that. If you're not, consciously on it, this is what we do as human beings. We have stories, we make things. That's one of my TED Talks was about this. So I think this whole area of, self-confidence, self-doubt, getting stuck, starting to believe, that there's a limit to what you can do, that I tend to work with a lot of, I always say, I love helping really, really heart-centered, ambitious individuals that are entrepreneurial that want to birth a big vision. Like if you've got big shit to do in the world and, you're feeling stuck and you're not doing it, come to mama.
What's usually a first step that people take when they're on the road to self-healing?
Well, I mean, the first thing, and it's like, if you're into the steps that are called the 12 steps or any steps, the first thing is awareness. You've got to notice what you're noticing. This is like in any practice, especially if you're into mindfulness or anything like that. What I always do is you got to notice what you're noticing. You got to, first of all, realize these thoughts are not you. These emotions you're feeling, they're not you, they're with you, but there's something going on and there's something to look at and to honor and to face. And that's usually, honestly, it can be scary to do that. And I would say, don't do that alone. I always have a coach. I've always had one. It's what changed my life like 12, 13 years ago. It's what kind of got me into the wake up, the wake up call. So you got to really start with being aware, like what the heck is going on? What am I saying to myself? What am I believing? What's keeping me stuck? All of that whole world.
What do you think that people are doing that, let's start with the positive. What do you see that people are doing when they come to you that they're doing right? I guess the recognition is the first step. So they're probably recognizing it before they reach out to you. But anything else that people tend to do right?
Yeah, that's a great question. My brain's like, what are they doing right? Well, like I'm thinking I have a client who she's a very successful business, right? So on the outside, she's successful. She's, multi six figures at this point, if you go by that metrics. She takes good care of her health. She sleeps well. Like she's doing some really good things, eats well, drinks water, doing that. And she realized, so that those are some of the things.
Yeah,
I'll start
absolutely.
there. Yeah, she's doing really, so for her, right? And I tend to see this with, again, the high achiever type. It's like things are really good. It's often like they're good. they might even be fine, but I'm kind of like, do you want fine and just good? I'm not really in that camp. I would prefer beyond that.
So, and who do you typically work with? Do you work more with women, with men? Tell me, or I know it's anybody that's heart-centered. I could see myself easily, having great conversations with you about the things that I have accomplished or things that I'm looking to accomplish in my world. Who is ideal for you?
I've worked over the last decade. I did a lot with companies like Under Armour and the government and the military. So I've worked with men and women over the last decade. I'm finding, what I'm seeing is like for every, let's say 4 people, 3 out of the 4 are women.
That's because you guys are more self-aware. I mean, you just know that there's probably more guys that have the problems. It's just more women are recognizing they have the problems and making their way to smartness and seeing you.
I've had some amazing men that are super open and are like, hey, I want to get to that next level. Like, let's do this. So I do. I always say, I definitely have a few really awesome men that come through too. It tends to be more women. And, interestingly, it tends to be women that are very stuck in the energy of pushing and doing and like that hustle and, learning how not to necessarily burn themselves out, their adrenals, their body. That's where I'm, it's kind of my special sauce is that area.
Probably when I met you, it was before I made the whole West Coast adventure for myself. So I really didn't know much about like that alternative stuff. And you're East Coast. So it's like East Coast mentality does not necessarily lend itself into understanding or even being accepting of what you do. So how have you overcome some of those obstacles in your career?
Well, my friend, everyone thinks I'm from California. So there you go.
Right.
My poor kids are like, my mom, she's a little different. She's a little different over here. Actually, there is a hunger and a thirst for this. And I actually started a lot of my work with corporations, with companies like healthcare systems, major corporations. I've worked with some of the big government agencies that in the military bases doing coaching, like this kind of coaching. And, it was interesting behind closed doors of all these different leaders. What I kept getting was, oh my gosh, I need this. This is like, I've been craving this kind of, interpersonal, this kind of transformational work. So it's desired. And I think even today it's more, especially after the last few years, that need for how do you really have that harmony in your life? How do you take yourself to the next level? Stop being shitty to yourself, like really change your whole belief system. So yeah, I mean, it's not, I'm certainly, I think it's catching on here, but my heart, my soul is a little more West Coast.
I don't know if you ever watched Billions. Did you ever watch Billions, the television show?
Just once.
But Billions, there is a therapist or a coach on the show. Her name is Wendy, and you're kind of Julie's playing the role of Wendy today on this. She's a high performance coach, but she's very, very in touch with her spirituality and the woo side of things. And I see that as when we originally had those conversations, there was only a couple people in my life at the time that I think really were believers. I don't mean to say put people in categories of believer and non-believer, but I was probably closer to the non-believer than I was the believer. And then when people like you that have belief understand, hey, look, you can accomplish a lot if you dig a little bit deeper into you rather than the You-est You. I'm like, that's such a great name for the program. Yeah, because really that's really what you're all about. I mean, that's really what you do. Talk about your certification program for a second. Tell me, is it certifying for clients or certification for other coaches that want to do what you do?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, I'll just say really quick before I even answer that, when you're talking about the belief system, one of the gifts of having my podcast is interviewing like experts on that. So Dr. Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, and I'm like, all of these incredible thought leaders. And I'm learning like what I felt or thought intuitively. So that can be a gift of when you decide to step into having that podcast. Anyhow, so that's been a
My girlfriend JJ, she's had Bruce Lipton on her show a couple of times as well, and Christian Northrup, and a whole bunch of really, really heavy hitters. It's always great to hear you say the same names. It's just validation for me that I know she's going down the right path as well.
Yes.
So that I needed it, not that she needed the validation, and I probably didn't need it either. I just proof is in the pudding. I just watch, but I hear it. You say those names. I'm like, oh, I know those names too.
Yes, they're awesome. And they're so humble. Yeah. So my coaching certification, this is really interesting. I I'm one of the few people, I got a master's degree in coaching, which is rare. Like, I think we're a rare bird. I think I'm in 1%. I was so obsessed with this work and I was like, I need to get it. If I could have gotten a PhD, I would have, but I didn't. And I've been teaching it for a long time at Georgetown University. And I love the program, but I really wanted to create something that also brought in the mind, body science, positive psychology, but also energy work and healing as well. So I have found my clients, the students, are actually both aspiring coaches, but equally, it's about 50-50. I have a ton of current coaches. They've gone through the high performance coaching, other coaching modalities. And what I'm hearing is they want refinement. They want to have this aspect added in. And so it's just so fascinating. I say it's like a transformational life program that happens to be a coaching certification. It's super, super deep. And it helps, for anyone that's like, I really want to get unstuck and like shift my beliefs of myself and help others and learn how to do that. It's powerful. It's really powerful.
I bet. And I'm looking forward to hearing back from some people that have been either gone through the program or go through the program as a result of listening to this show. So hopefully we'll be able to turn some people onto you. What's the best way for people if they are in our community and want to reach out and hear more about what you do and how you do it?
Yeah, easy peasy. Just go to juliereisler.com. And if you want to learn about the certification, you just add a little slash and put certification. It's really easy.
Great. And we'll put a link in the show notes for all of that. So don't worry if you don't know how to spell it. We got it right there. It's spelled very similar to how you would think it would be spelled. So we'll make sure.
Like the store REI. I always say, think of like REI.
Very good. As a matter of fact, this North Face is a result of an REI purchase that I made. And we just had to, look, I'm getting real professional. I got the turnkey logo on my.
I know. I'm like, where's my logo? That's awesome.
On my clothes now. All right. Well, I appreciate you being here and thanks for sharing your message. And I know that those that are in our community, let's give another plug to not only your podcast, but to your book as well and to anything else that you want. So why don't you share name of your podcast, name of your book, and how people can get a hold of all of those things?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm so appreciative and adore you. And this is, as always, I love talking to you. And I hope everyone listening also enjoyed the conversation. You can. So my book is called Get a PhD in You, because the whole point is we study every freaking thing under the sun but ourselves. So you gotta spend time studying you, get a PhD in you. My podcast is called the You-est You. You can find it anywhere that you get a podcast or YouTube. And what was the last thing, Doug?
Yeah, we'll make sure we put a link in the show notes for anything else that we are missing. Julie, thanks for sharing your message today on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, for those in our community, don't forget another great episode coming up in the upcoming weeks as well on Turnkey Podcast. If you know anything about the Nice Guys on Business, you know that Strick and I are here 2 days a week. Our NGF stands for Nice Guys Fuckery episodes are here on Fridays. So make sure you tune in for those as well. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For Doug, Strickland, the Nice Guys on Business podcast, I'm Steve O'Brien. Yo, bartender, Jobu needs a refill.